RollerCoaster Legends review for PlayStation VR.
Let's begin!
This is an experience rather than a game, so there isn't really any gameplay, so we shall begin with seeing how immersive this world is. This is a roller coaster game set in Greek mythology. You are inside a wooden cart and the depth on it is really good. So is the track itself that is just in front of you. The ride mainly takes place in very wide open areas and the environment is quite blurry in the background. The beginning part of the ride is the best as it twists and turns a lot more, resulting in you not paying too much attention to the blur in the background. You have a light attached to your head, but the beam is really only properly visible at the beginning of the ride and is seen again slightly in a later section when you are inside a building. This part plays out a bit like a ghost train, as the game tries to add some slight jump scares. They don't really have much of an impact though. There are some set pieces that genuinely made me move out of the way in the real world, but I feel that there wasn't enough of them. The anticipation of going down a big drop is exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. My stomach did get butterflies. In between these moments though is a lot of slow movement, and unfortunately there isn't a whole lot to look at around you. The game does try to change the environment up quite a bit, especially when you go through teleports, but other than the environment itself, not a lot of objects are placed around you to keep you visually engaged. The tracks themselves do change visually, and also the sound coming from the cart's friction. It does add to the immersion. You can pause the game at any time and take a look all around you. It can be quite cool to do this, especially just before you're about to go down a big drop, as it feels like you could actually fall out of the car at any moment. But like I said before, there isn't too many objects around you, so you won't miss anything after your first playthrough. What the game does do very well is the music. It blasts in at just the right moment as you enter a new location, and it really does immerse you and put you in a state of wonderment. It also changes when you take a detour from the track itself. I won't ruin what happens, but you won't always be connected to a roller coaster track. Now let's take a look at the setup and what controllers the game supports. I played this game in a seated position just under 2 meters away from the camera. As you are on a roller coaster, it is best to be seated for immersion. The head tracking was perfect and the game did not give me motion sickness. My nephew also rode the coaster and he hasn't played a whole lot of VR. He surprisingly did not feel motion sick and he is very likely to in VR. This game is played with a DualShock controller, which you will only need to use for pausing the game and restarting the game. Now let's take a look at the length of the game and what trophies come with it. The ride lasts for around 8 minutes, and because the game is an experience title rather than a game, it does not include trophies. And now it's time for the verdict. At times it can be quite an exciting ride and there are a few engaging set pieces, but there is too many slow segments that feel too much like filler. The music is incredibly well done though and really does keep in time with the pace. On my first playthrough I didn't use the pause feature, and when I did the second time it became very apparent to me how much is missing from each location's environments. There isn't too many places at all that really entice you in pausing and taking a closer look around. It really does feel like a wasted opportunity, and unless you're planning on putting a friend or loved one on the ride, I doubt you'll be revisiting this Greek mythology setting many times. The price is decent for what you get though, especially as you are basically getting to experience one of these in your very own home, but I think many will come away a bit underwhelmed.